Okay, we are from Oratio, that's Piotr, and I'm René. We are today talking about Oratio integrations, and there they are. Yep. We support 5 messengers: Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Telegram, Kik, and Viber. That's how our user interface looks like, and yeah, it's your turn.
Which one?
Yeah,
got it. Okay, so first, what integrations at Oratio are. So basically, they're just these pieces of software that you can develop and expose an endpoint to them. And through these integrations, you can manage the conversations, export messages to wherever you want, or reply to the messages coming in. So we differentiate between 2 types of integrations, active and passive, where the active integrations would be the ones that reply to the messages or add some data to the conversations so that the agents that later reply to the messages in the dashboard know some more info, or passive integrations, which gets all the message outgoing and incoming, and you can, for example, export these messages to some external CRM system or some analytics service, basically whatever you can come up with. So we do have a documentation that's available at Oratio, and what you can find there is the description of the objects that you get on your webhook, where account would be, for example, your Facebook page that you connected to Oratio. Conversation would be the entire data object that describes the conversation. Well, message is pretty self-explanatory. User would be the agent that is taking care of the conversation in Oratio, and the response would be the object that you send back to Oratio to reply to the message automatically. And now about the SDK that we have.
Yeah, we also created a Node SDK. It's you can find it here on GitHub, but you can also install it by the npm package manager. Yeah, it's actually quite simple. We made it for Express, which is probably the easiest one. Just require Express, you're creating an app, then requiring Oratio. Oratio is a middleware, so you say app use, and it will inject all the functionality of the Oratio integration into the response object. And yeah, we made it as simple as possible to start an integration. You can, yeah, but also do it by your own through the documentation. It's really easy, just to JSON payloads and yeah.
Okay, so now I'll talk about the example passive integration. So last week we developed this Oratio forward integration, which is responsible for sending all the messages that are coming to Oratio or coming out of Oratio, forwarding them to email address of your choosing. And I'll also talk about how to quickly create such integration on Firebase, because it really takes no time. So let's get into it. Well, first, that's
it's small.
Quite small, but yeah, I didn't think it through. Yeah, so you just set up the Firebase, initialize the project. We'll be using the functions feature from Firebase, which basically lets you expose an endpoint, and that's what we exactly need. And after you finish the initial setup of Firebase, you get this index file, which is like pretty simple. It just imports the Firebase functions module that we'll use to create an endpoint, and yeah, you just export the endpoints that you want there, and we'll just have one that's going to be called message, and it will receive all the messages from Oratio. And we use this functions module here to add the request handler. And also, it's a good practice with our integrations when you're developing a passive one to immediately respond to notify that the message was delivered. And now we'll try to get some data out of the request that got to the webhook. So we'll write a really simple payload parser. So let's just save the JSON body that gets delivered to the webhook. And here is how to get, for example, the name of the user that sent the message. So we just inspect who's the sender, and it's either subscriber, so the person contacting your page. And if it's a subscriber, we can get their name from the conversation.name key. And if it's an account, then the message was sent from oratio, so we get the name of the agent that sent this message. We can also obviously get the content of the message. There are a couple of types that we support, more than that, but just for the purpose of the showcase, yet we can just get the text of the message or the file that was sent together with the message. And then we'll also get the date that which was created, and that's being passed as a timestamp. So we parse it with moment and then get human readable date. And finally, let's put it together to some email body that we want to send. So we'll use SparkPorse for that. So we install the module, and we first initialize SparkPost. We'll use Firebase config to get the SparkPost API key. And once we have this object, we can create transmission, because that's how you notify SparkPost that you want to send an email. So we just set the content from whom the email should be, the subject, and then we just forward the content of this message. And at the end, we also need the email address that we want to send this email to. So we'll get it from the headers from the specified key. That's also will be in the config. And finally, we just send it. And at the end, we just have to fill in the config with the SparkPost key and the headers where our desired email address would be. And then we just deploy, and it's ready to be connected to Oratio. So we go to our Oratio platform, we add custom integration. We have to fill in the name of our integration, the webhook, which in this case is the endpoint in Firebase. We add the header that we want people to customize when they connect the integration, which is set to x-email-address. And we have to choose the type between passive and active integration. This one is passive, and that worked. So after we connect the integration, and after we do that, it's going to be connected to all the accounts that we have connected to our Oratio platform. So that's pretty easy to do. And after that, a little bit of testing, a couple of messages sent to the Telegram bot. They also in Oratio, they're not lost anywhere. And finally, we get them in email as well, because it all worked. So, hello, how may I help you? Can you tell the difference between a hot dog and not a hot dog? Well, I can't, but my colleague does, so let's move on.
Yeah, so the difference between a passive and an active integration is actually just that you can, with an active integration, you can respond or return a JSON payload, and the JSON payload specifies what you can return to the end user, to the messenger. And yeah, you just have to, during the setup, you just have to set it the type of integration to active. You're able to respond, yeah, and you can steer the conversation. This is quite interesting, because it can be the case that your integration doesn't know what to do with the customer request, and you can say a human has to take care of it. Or you can also forward to the other integrations, because you can connect more than one. The integration with the higher priority gets it first, and then yeah, you can forward to the next, and for example, the last one, if this integration still does not know what to do, you can request a human. I created, for example, for an active example, the not hot dog bot. Does anyone know Silicon Valley? Is it serious? Yeah? Oh, nice. Awesome. Everyone else, really, come on. How the not hotdog bot works is you just make a picture, send it to this bot, and I use just some AWS image recognition. Yeah, it has some problems with Viennese hot dogs, so but I will report that. They have to learn that. Yeah, that's it, and it should tell you if it's a hot dog or not. And for the next one, it should be a YouTube video. But does a YouTube video work in the presentation? They told yes, because that's why I'm... Does it something? Oh no. Oh, yes.
We'll move on to you.
Yeah, just there are QR codes for Facebook Messenger. I scanned them because it's easier. Otherwise, I have to type not hot dog, and I'm a developer. Yeah, I just make a selfie of myself just to check out if I'm a hot dog. And no, I'm not. Then I made a picture of a real Viennese hot dog, and yeah, it is. So, but depends on the angle. And that's it. That's the bot. It's really we all want to see this. Wait, and how can I switch in? I haven't used Windows for a long time. Okay, yeah. So it's a hot dog. If you want to build on top of this high technology something, by the way, you should scan it, that you can check things if they're hot dogs or not hot dogs. That's important. And you should also like the page, the not hot dog page. That's also important. And yeah, it's also on GitHub. So if someone wants to, actually it does more than just recognizing hot dogs and not hot dogs. These AWS image recognition, it actually says a lot more. So you should check it out. And yeah, that's basically it. Wow, PowerPoint is really bad. Okay, yeah, any questions? No?
We're that good.
Yeah.
All right, so if there are no questions now, I assume people can approach you during the conference.
Yeah, and we can tell them
if it's a hot dog or not.
They're hot dog or not. So.
Yeah. Maybe we should try it. It's very interesting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Piotr. Thank you.